everybody. How are you? I am Noemi Paimal from Education 3000 and today with Quantum Education with Juan Villegas. Hola, Juan.
Hello, Noemi.
How are you?
Yeah, very good. How are you?
Very good, very good. And today we have a beautiful subject. We go to oneness, yes. And for you guys who just joined this video, I want to introduce Juan. Juan is a researcher and in quantum education and much more, as well was the director of a school in Nepal. How do you say that, headmaster?
Yeah.
The school is Gurukul and it's a very nice school. I knew this school. And Juan was a teacher as well in Auroville for more than 5 years or something like that. So a lot of experience and researches, right?
Yeah, a lot of research and experience with education, yeah.
So what's about oneness? Why I know now it's like everybody's talking about oneness, we are one, and also, but what's at the behind, what's how do we say fundamentals? What's backing up that? Because it's not a theory, it's something, I mean, what is it?
Well, yes, there is a lot of like talk about oneness, and in most spiritual traditions around the planet, they, one way or another, they talk either about oneness with everything, that we are all made of a similar substance or being, or interconnectedness. So this is like a common talk in the philosophical and spiritual paths. And for me, it's funny because I had a little bit of a different background in how I came to this concept when I was studying physics. So in physics, we start to see this idea of like oneness and interconnectedness, mostly in the quantum level, where we see that particles that interact, and after they separate, they are connected across time and space instantaneously. And whatever one particle, whatever something happens to one particle, the other particle changes instantaneously. So we begin to see this concept of, they call it entanglement. So myself, I came across all these concepts actually from the scientific point of view, like seeing how on the atomic level, on the quantum level, there was this interconnectedness. It could be even across the universe. You know, this is like, was something remarkable. It almost like breaks the laws of physics, that something across the universe will be connected to something else and instantaneously react. And it was from there that I was researching and coming closer to this like philosophical concepts that.
Wait, Juan, wait. How come this is not possible? How come something on the other side of the universe can be connected if it is supposed to be vacuum and we are not connected? There is no way we can connect. There is no internet over there.
So that's the thing, that's how we began to come across like other kind of physics and different explanations and models for the universe. This is all quite recent, and there is not like a full like consensus on what this means. Like, to the extent that like some physicists they are explaining this by proposing that the universe is actually like a hologram. So it's all like condensed in one point somewhere and then projected outwards. So yes, outwardly everything is like separated in the hologram, but in some way it all comes. It's just like a projection from one place, like in a movie theater. So on that level, the things are like together and interacting and like touching in some, or occupying the same space. So there is basically like so much we don't know and so much like we need to find out about it. But even from the scientific point of view, it seems like, yes, there is much more connection and oneness that we previously thought. There are even like examples of like some physicists that are proposing that all the thousands of like different kinds of particles that there are, like protons, electrons, and this and that, that they are actually like the same particle, but like a different. I don't want to go into the technical jargon, but like they're like the same particle, but like a different, like let's say like distance or depth or place. So they look like they have a different mass or different properties, but they're actually the same particle. So that then again, you know, other scientists are beginning to explore this concept of oneness even more. Like there are other theories like proposing that it could just be like one particle that it's moving like faster than the speed of light, like occupying all the places at once and just like taking turns.
Ooh.
So even scientifically, many people are beginning to consider this possibility that the universe it's something far different than we thought, much more interconnected and a lot more similar that what many mystics and shamans or spiritual people were like proposing. So that's a little bit like how like the scientific community is exploring these ideas.
So that's why they had to create a new science. I mean, with the old law of the Newton science and the old physics, it couldn't be explained. So they had to jump to a new and create something like a new kind of science. And that's the beginning of quantum physics and more, because now I heard there is a post-quantum physics.
Yeah, it's in the making. And
if not, it was not possible to
no, with
to explain one thing even.
No, with the Newton laws, it was not possible. It was not possible to explain how one particle could be in different places at the same time and interacting with itself. Well, we cannot explain how particles go forwards or backwards in time, how particles could disappear in the vacuum, and from the vacuum particles could appear. So yes,
yeah, this blows my mind still.
It's almost like for me it's very similar to how things happen in our dreams or in our mind. Like in our mind, you can create two me's and they can interact with each other, or you can talk to a past self and a past self can talk to a future self, and you can create a new self and an old self can disappear. It's almost like the mind is like a quantum process. So that's how it helps me to imagine a little bit how that could work, because the way our mind works is not so different. And this is like related to the field of quantum psychology, but it's another conversation.
Okay.
So yes, there is a new scientific paradigm emerging, but it's very difficult. There is a lot of resistance because it goes very much against what we have learned. And what we have learned, we built a whole like philosophy around it and a whole society around it. So when we go to the foundation and we begin to change our understanding of the laws of physics, everything changes, and that's the problem. That's why it grows and it's coming very slowly, and it's even very difficult to think about these things, to talk about these things. So that's a little bit like the scientific community is in a bit of like a difficult place, like really understanding of, yeah. Then another aspect that also helped me understand where could this concept of oneness come from, that we've already mentioned in other videos, but for me was quite important. The discovery of the mirror neurons. So with this idea of the mirror neurons, that whatever you see outside, those neurons are replicating. So everything that is going on around you, there is a little part of your brain that it's like mirroring it. So it's happening also inside. And then the same outside, whoever is observing you is creating a little Noemi inside them. So it brings like the whole outside inside and much closer, and we are interacting with it. And so there is again like another sense of interconnectedness and mirroring and oneness going on inside our brain. But then if we look even further, this is an example that they are like often using in some spiritual circles to explain the concept of oneness. But like if we really look at like how the brain is generating this reality, from your senses you are getting electrical and chemical signals. There is no images, there is nothing. It's just like pure data, like almost like digital. You're getting these like electrical signals into the brain. The brain is processing all that information, coming to a conclusion. Then it projects again inside our head, is projecting a hologram of like what this reality looks like, and then projecting a little us inside that hologram. So basically the whole thing we are experiencing, it's I'm not saying there is no outside reality, but like whatever we are experiencing, it's actually happening inside our brain. So when we look, for example, at like how we dream, in our dream world, we are interacting with dream characters and things are happening. So what is that dream character made of? Who is it? From the conventional point of view, it's a creation of our brain. So that dream character, it's like made of the substance of that. It feels real, you know, there is feelings, there is sensations and everything. But that dream character is made of like mind. The fundamental substance is it's made of mind stuff or thought or consciousness or whatever. So in our dream, we are like interacting with a whole world that world is just made of like the same substance as us. And in that dream, we made a copy of ourselves made of consciousness. We made another person made of the same consciousness as us, and we interact with that. Now, when we look at like physical reality, the brain is using the same mechanism. It's just in a slow way. So when we're interacting in our life, we're just basically interacting with like a mirror copy in our mind of the same substance. And psychologically, everything is made of like that consciousness. I don't know if this, I think it makes sense, but so that's how I could like bridge, you know, that like in some mystical traditions, they will say everything is made of God or consciousness or whatever. But even biologically, the way the brain functions, it's everything is made of like consciousness. So probably they found a way to go deep inside and observe that. That's a little bit like.
That makes sense.
Now the applications of this, just up till there, it's cute and it's fine. And maybe you think, okay, so what? But there is a lot.
That was my next question, actually.
There is a lot of applications.
Read my mind.
Because if I am interacting with a copy of you inside my brain, and a part of my brain, it's like replicating you or someone or whatever my interaction is with that person is actually an interaction between me and another part of my brain that is acting that. So, and the same with like, so all the conflicts we are having, they're like basically conflicts that we are having inside our brain. And like, I see you, I am projecting emotions on you, I'm projecting meaning. You're saying some words and I'm projecting that you're angry, I'm projecting that you are happy, I'm projecting that whatever. And then I have a fight with that. So the more we look into this, we can see that like this is, let's say, it's like counterproductive for ourselves. And like if we learn to have a better relationship with the outside world, we're also having a better relationship with ourselves and everything. And we can see that by it gives us a little bit the empowerment back to bring like better relationships, where we see that like the outside is just like a film, and we are projecting the meanings and the emotions and everything, and the problems we are having are problems that are very much in our hand, are problems that we can solve. We have gone in other videos about like how to resolve the emotions with other people, with other situations, with concepts, with the government, with education, with whatever. And all these are things that are like going on inside us, and like we're having this like battlefield inside us which also reminds me why in many cultures around the world they talk about the spiritual journey as like a battlefield, and it's like a battlefield between the different parts of us, you know, like in the Bhagavad Gita and with the Pandavas and all that.
Because at the end, the goal, we were divided, but the goal is to go back to that. And oneness is love, information, wisdom. I mean, it's
Yes, at least like we
all
can be in
field of,
harmony. Like when we begin to see that whatever is outside, there we also have inside. Then it's not about like eliminating the difference. Yes, we can have different we can have different personalities, we can have different characters, we can have different emotions, we can have different everything, diversity. But we can relate to it in harmony, knowing that they are just like different parts of us, and then it can be much more constructive. It's not about like everybody is the same as me or everybody is me. No, it's like we are all like kind of like coming from the same substance, and we are all like different aspects, different parts of the journey, like mirroring different parts of each other. And by having like a constructive, harmonious interaction, then we can really learn a lot and like go further. And like you said, that we can have like clearer information, more light, more love, and everything.
So with education, it's goes when we do the program of, for instance, peace program and multicultural approach in history, geography, social science, because the goal will be, at least on Earth, to have this beautiful peace culture and harmony with oneself, outside, and with nature. So we can base that on the law of oneness as well. We can use that in education.
Yes, I mean, we need to like, maybe there is a little bit of like a journey to bring it into a more clear and practical application, that it would begin with us, you know, as adults. But if we begin to see even something like so simple, like with children, like, okay, I am here, they are there, I am already educated, they are not, or whatever. We have these concepts, but and they have that behavior. I don't have that behavior. I didn't have that behavior when I was a kid. But if we look closely, often, especially when there is like a strong emotion going on, like more often than not, we have been that. Maybe I'm not like that anymore. Of course, I'm older, but maybe I have been like that. So we can already begin to see like much more connectedness and oneness. When I see that another teacher, another parent, another kid, they are also like a part of me, almost immediately there is like a little opening in the heart and a little bit of understanding, like, okay, I see where they're coming from, I understand. Then the communication becomes easier, and then there's more understanding, more love. It's more easy to cooperate when you understand the other. So this, when we assume that there is some sort of oneness, there is some sort of connection, there is some sort of mirroring. Sometimes it's not like immediate. Sometimes they don't mirror something that you are right now, but something that you were, or something that you could be if you are in that situation. When we take that as a little bit of like a ground, then we can ask different questions. Like rather than judging, like, okay, they are different and this is bad. It's like, okay, how am I similar to that? When am I like that also? From that, a lot of understanding and a lot of like cooperation can arise. So it can be quite practical.
And in a peace, because then you understand, and then you don't have this huge stress.
Okay.
And
Yes. And you
okay,
can see,
so there is a lot to learn. I
yes.
think we have a beautiful invitation how to grow, to tap into it, to transform all that in a personal journey. And remind everybody, we have 6 videos before this one. Please watch them again and again, because sometimes we understand another level or something practical in our life. And the division definitely, and I want to thank you, Juan, for that, is invite everybody to grow inside, grow outside, transform the world from inside, and have this beautiful vision and wisdom and put it in practice through education at home, in the schools and everywhere, enterprise, wherever you work, your office. And that's the beautiful transformation, the beautiful journey humanity is invited to.
Yeah.
Thank you. What would you suggest to everybody?
Maybe just related to this conversation, I will suggest this, that we begin to ask ourselves how we are similar to each other.
Thank you so much. You take care, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And we will do more, of course. And put some comments. We would love to have questions. I know Juan would love to have all the questions, not for me, for him. That the other way around. Here you are. And comments, how you put that in practice, what happened to you. Many things are happening too, and we keep in touch. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Juan. You take care too.